Good evening and welcome to Fan TV, the show that football fans are talking about. Now, before we get started tonight, I have got some bad news for you, I'm afraid, because due to last-minute scheduling changes outside of our control, this will be the last episode of Fan TV before Christmas. But don't worry, your favourite football fan chat show will return in the new year, and we hope that you, the fans, will join us then for some of the best football chat, banter and mayhem that TV has to offer. Last night, the hairy man himself, Justin Lee Collins, was here with a lime green sofa full of guests. The beard envy started at 7:30 with Swansea fan Gareth sporting a rather fetching little number, while Spurs fan Dave had made do with more of a goatee kind of thing he had going on. Freshly trimmed Russian correspondent Andrewski was with us on Skype telling us all about his 300-kilometre drive home through a Siberian blizzard after watching his team Ural Yekaterinburg, no idea, no idea if I said that correctly at all, draw 1-1 with Rostov. I literally have one question for you, Andrew, which is why? Why'd you do it to yourself, mate? Come on. Next up, it was the turn of Sunderland fan Lewis Ryan, who was rocking the rough, slightly unshaven look, whilst Fulham fan Matthew obviously hadn't got the beard memo. He did, however, tell us all to calm down over all the Ben Woodburn excitement and whipped out his list to tell us why. It was back to awesome beardness with Dan La Liga man at 8:30. He, however, hadn't received the clipboard memo. Freshly shaven non-league expert Stephen Copping refused to share his. However, Dan did quite happily share his beard with Justin. Not that Justin needs it, of course. And wrapping things up with some awesome Arsenal and Liverpool chat, it was Taylor Mee and Owen Hall, who looked far too young to even consider growing any facial hair, frankly. That was last night here on Fan TV. Let's take a look back at some of the best bits.
Gareth, who do you think should play Jamie Vardy in a film of his life?
Well, Mary Berry, because she's kind of out of, she's in no man's land at the moment with the Bake Off going, so, you know, it's up for grabs.
Mary Berry is Jamie Vardy.
Yeah. Somebody should check on that.
Bien, c'est bien! Bien, c'est bien! Which any of you Rocky IV fans will know, it means to the end.
These are the players who have been hyped up over the years to be the next big thing and have produced nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. As a Welshman, I want Ben Woodburn to succeed. I want every Welsh player to succeed and us to have a great squad. But he's played half an hour. Calm down, everyone. Okay? Justin, back to you.
Once again, well done, the FA, for making English football the laughing stock of world football. Well done. Only you guys could have done it. I mean, you guys are meant to be all well-paid professionals, all lawyers and barristers, and yet you can't even run do a simple job of running the good game of English football. Like I said, mate, you only had one job, and as usual, you idiots at Wembley go and balls it up. Well done, lads.
Good old Kenny Ken. He doesn't mince his words, does he? That was last night. This is tonight. Let's have a look at what's coming up. First up, it is the turn of a man who slept overnight at Old Trafford as a prank. Man United fan Yusuf will be on the lime green sofas alongside Arsenal fans James and Ola in just a few minutes' time. And then at 8 o'clock, all my dreams have come true. I have finally got a Bury fan on the sofa. Chris will be here alongside Charlton fan Nathan a little bit later on. Also at 8, we'll be taking our usual Spanish trip on Skype to chat to Chris Darwin with more tales from the top flight. And then at 8:30, it's all about the French. Nathan will be here with a Skype update on what's happening in their top tier. Whilst on the lime green at 8:30, Spurs fans Luke and Daniel will be chatting with us all things Tottenham. And at 9 o'clock, it is West Ham all the way and maybe a bit of Arsenal taking us through to the end of the show at 9:30. That is what's coming up here on Fan TV right now. Please welcome Yusuf, James and Ola, everybody. Yusuf, James and Ola. Woo! Woo! Good to see you. How you doing, all right? Good to see you, mate. How you doing? Take a seat, take a seat. Good to see you again, Ola. Squeeze on. It's always a bit cosy when there's FREEVIEW, so thank you for shifting on there. Just quickly, by the way, we have launched the first poll of the evening on Twitter at FanTVUK. I think we can have a look at it now. So it is our final show of the year, but we will be back in January. So on that note, whose return at a former club was the best? Is it Adebayor versus Arsenal? Is it Figo versus Barcelona? That's when they threw the pig's head at him. Or RVP versus Arsenal as well, when you had to give him the Wall of Honour when he'd won his Premier League medal. And if you have any other suggestions as well, tweet us at FanTVUK with those. Looking at those three, two of them Arsenal. What's the problem with old players coming back and haunting you guys?
It just happens, doesn't it? It's life.
Just life.
Other tell us, Danny Welbeck versus Man United in the FA Cup. Just thought I'd...
just for the sake of balance. Just for the sake of balance.
Yeah.
You guys have played. Arsenal, Manchester United played a few weeks ago. It was a 1-1 draw. Maybe some would say a fortuitous. You were meant to be watching the game. Am I right in saying that you didn't get to see it in the end?
I saw a bit of it, a good 20 minutes.
You saw 20 minutes. Talk us through what happened. This is amazing.
So we decided to stay overnight. We hid in the toilets and we bypassed the security and made it out.
So you snuck into Old Trafford the day before the game, did you?
Yeah, we went in through a tour.
Oh.
Yeah, so we got away from the tour and we hid overnight.
That's
crazy.
incredible. And was it? Did you have a ticket for the game, or
no, not for the game, for the tour.
just for the tour? And you saw 20 minutes.
Yeah, good.
Where did you go once the game started? Where did you go and stand?
I think it was the Stretford end. We just came out of the nearest tunnel. And we just went out.
Oh, you're on the pitch. That's amazing. Fair play. Well done, by the way. Good effort. Good effort. Probably not meant to applaud people sneaking into football grounds, but it's a hell of a story. You guys ever spent all nights in a bloke's toilet?
No.
No? All right. Just checking. Just checking. It's very good. I know it was a while ago, but what did you make of the Man U Arsenal game? Well, we've got two Arsenal fans and a Man United here.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think it's the heist of the century, isn't it? We were poor all game. United was all over us. But I don't know if you guys are into dominoes or not.
The pizza, yeah, I get it all the time.
No, not the pizza, the actual domino game. The last piece of domino, you have that one ace, that one last stick of domino, and you slam it on the table, and it breaks. You know what they felt? They felt robbed, and I was happy.
Yes, I mean, I have to admit that I didn't shed a tear when I saw Mourinho's face when he was walking down the touchline at the end.
It was mesmerizing. And scoring them late goals, we've scored quite a few of those this season as well. And there's nothing like scoring a late goal that means something. It was a loss that ended up feeling like a win, even though it was a point in the end. So yeah.
And the Man U perspective?
I was being interrogated during that time.
Yeah, I don't know why I've asked you, of all people, to tell us about the game. You didn't see anything. We saw the first 20 minutes. Good first 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Let's talk about Manchester United. They're the best club in the world again after their win against West Ham, it seems. You're obviously number one in the world again.
Yeah.
Is it frustrating with... You did actually play very well against West Ham in the week, as much as it pains me as a Liverpool fan to say it, but you played very well. Is it almost more frustrating watching them perform as they are in the Cups at the moment when you look at your league form?
If I'm being honest, I don't really keep up anymore. Growing up, I did.
Brilliant. Well, we got you on the show. Thanks very much. Did you just come in to tell us about the time that you hid in the toilet?
Yeah, I could sit here and lie for yeah, they'd do amazing, but I don't really keep up.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much. Fascinating Manchester United chat. Well, I won't do that. You won't know anything about that. You won't know anything about Mkhitaryan? No, nothing there. 8 points off top four? No, nothing. Zlatan scoring goals? No, nothing. Everton away Sunday at 4. We'll leave that. So, Arsenal. How are they doing?
You had me on the phone the other day, yeah.
You were ranting a bit.
I was fuming. I'm like, that's 2 games in a row. No, maybe 3 games in a row now with Carl Jenkinson. I'm like, bye.
It was entertaining. So if you didn't watch So the other night,
yeah.
James was on Skype. He was kindly watching the Arsenal-Southampton game for us. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
And giving us reports. And he was laying into Carl Jenkinson, who's taken a lot of stick in the game since.
I'll say, like I said the other night, if being passionate about the team and having an Arsenal bedroom qualifies you, then even though I'm 25 years old, I've got a rug and the curtain set. So can I play up front against West Ham tomorrow? Your fingers watching. I am here. I am quite slow, so you have to maybe not the balls in the back, but like if you go over the top, quite direct, I might be able to lash one. It depends.
Yeah, I trust you.
Yeah.
Ola, would you like to see James in the Arsenal team this weekend?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. And
thanks, mate.
the reason being, we we just need Bellerin back. I'm sorry.
Wait, I like how you're searching for a reason here.
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be me because I'm a fan of.
I did say up front, no, I wasn't going to go right back. I'm too slow. I'm way too slow.
If he was going to go any team, it would be right back because you're moving Sanchez out the way.
No,
so there you go.
that's true.
But I was at the game for the EFL game against Southampton, and it went. I think it's a bit unfair laying all the blame on Jenkinson. Nobody showed up, and Southampton. To be fair to them, they're very, very strong team.
It was second string Southampton. It weren't even like the big Southampton.
Yeah, but
all it was the mountain from Game of Thrones, Van Dijk and the rest.
I can understand where
he's a class act, isn't he, Van Dijk? We're going to take the first break, but we'll come back to the Southampton game. Just before we do, there is the first teaser of the evening. So if you know the answer, tweet us at FanTVUK. The first teaser of the evening is before Giroud's late equaliser at Old Trafford, who was the last Arsenal player to score against a Mourinho side. Before Giroud's late equaliser at Old Trafford, who was the last Arsenal player to score against a Jose Mourinho side? If you know the answer, there's some confused face on the sofa. I don't have a clue either. Even though it's my teaser, I have no idea what the answer is. If you do know the answer, tweet us at FanTVUK. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Sky 212 as well. And we'll be back in just a sec. See you then. See you then. Looking forward to it. Welcome back to Fan TV. One of the fans that's going to be joining us later on the sofa is trying to get me to drink this whole bottle of Captain Morgan. To be fair, it's our last one of the year. I might actually. If you notice that bottle behind me gradually going down over the course of the evening and me getting drunker, you know what's happened. Before the break, I asked you the first teaser of the night, which was... Don't, guys, all right? Don't. So the teaser was, before Giroud's late equaliser at Old Trafford, who was the last Arsenal player to score against a Mourinho side? And we thought... This will be tough, this. They won't get this. Raj, who's behind the camera right now, who's in charge of coming up with these things, he came up with this question. I asked them in the break, I go, do you guys know the answer?
Yeah, we both said it instantaneously.
Yeah. Oxlade-Chamberlain in the Community Shield. Yeah. Well, of course. Not if you're Raj, who thinks that the answer is Gilberto Silva during a 1-1 draw in 2007. So if you got Oxlade-Chamberlain, you are correct. And if you got Gilberto Silva, you're an idiot like Raj. But thank you for getting involved on Twitter. Anyway, more teasers later. Looking forward to those, Raj. Right. Anyway, Mkhitaryan? No, nothing. Right. So Arsenal. Back to Arsenal. The 2-0 game we were talking about, the Southampton game. Were you disappointed to go out the League Cup? And be honest. Be honest.
I'll let you do it.
Yeah, disappointed to be out of the cup. You know, when you free fixtures away or 3 games away to get into Wembley, you know, we know these managers don't want to take it that seriously, and maybe the lower clubs in the league, they take it more seriously than. But then, you know, results over the last 2-3 seasons have shown that top clubs they're taking it seriously as well. i.e. Chelsea, Man City. So, you know, for fans, a day in Wembley is the ultimate. Whether you're going to get a mug, a cup, Mickey Mouse cup, whatever cup you want to call it, it's a day out in Wembley, and that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate for all fans. When you pay your money to go to a football game, to watch your team and back your team all the time, you know, you want to get to Wembley, and
this isn't
the
a
way
club
we've treated it. I don't think we've shown any seriousness in that.
And this isn't a club, you know, no disrespect, but Arsenal aren't exactly a club who the last decade have been reigning trophies. So for you to undermine a trophy, one of the 4 that you can win at the start of the season.
What annoyed me is that at the moment we have this very, very clouded fan base, and a fan base that will not take off the tinted glasses and see what is being in front of them. I don't mind losing as long as 100% effort has been made.
Right.
Now, the other night, you were there.
Yeah.
Tell me one player that put in a shift, apart from probably Oxlade-Chamberlain when he come on, Xhaka when he come on, and Maitland-Niles, who was incredible at right back. Not because of how badly I hated Jenkinson. He was actually... Jeff was awful. For a kid, he looks about 2 stone overweight.
The thing is, we got to look at how many times these guys... Southampton, they know their rotation. They've got these 2 teams. One plays in the league, one plays in Europa League. So they know, they're used to their rotation. But our rotation is far and few in between, and we're just mocking players all together.
And I mean, at home,
you know?
playing 2 defensive midfielders, even though El Nini is a bit of a distributor, but you know, everyone goes, oh yeah, but he had 91% passing, he had 92% passing. I can pass from you to there about 30 times in a game. That will get me 91 to 92%.
Stop trying to get in the game for tomorrow. It's unbelievable. It's shameless. To join us, by the way, we're going to have somebody join us on Skype now. Who's going to offer the other side of North London. We have a Tottenham fan, Johnny Vance, joining us on Skype. Hello, Johnny Vance. Come on, Johnny Vance. Look at that. Johnny came prepared for a couple of Arsenal fans. You're looking very well, Johnny. I understand you've been ill the last couple of weeks.
I've been a little bit ropey, if I'm honest, yeah.
What it was called? Have you ever heard of this? He had something called labyrinthitis.
Just that lasagna, didn't you?
Just that he couldn't stop watching David Bowie movies. I think was how. What is the symptoms of labyrinthitis?
Well, that is my homage to Bowie. It's a thickening of the inner ears, so it feels like you're like underwater and your whole house is like a bouncy castle. I don't recommend it. It's not fun.
No, I don't want it at
It's
all.
what happens when you're a Spurs fan, mate. This things happen.
It's a constant feeling when you're a Spurs fan. We're discussing Arsenal here, and I saw Charlie Nicholas come out in the week and say that Arsenal will finish above Tottenham this season. What do you make of that, Johnny?
It doesn't surprise me one bit. The Gooners, they're all fairly similar. I don't like to generalise, but they've all got a little bit of arrogance about them. They all expect it. Who knows?
Who knows? Where do you reckon you're finishing above Spurs this year?
Oh God, yes, and give it a
Never in doubt.
Nah.
It's interesting as well that I saw Riyad Mahrez came out in the week, and he said they asked him what the funniest moment of last season was, and he came out and said it was Spurs throwing away their lead at Stamford Bridge in the title race. What do you make of that, Johnny? Riyad Mahrez sticking the knife in.
Well, clearly he's classy on the pitch, not so classy off the pitch, though.
There you go, Riyad. If you're watching, mate, Johnny Vance says no. I mean, I think you guys would beg to differ that the funniest moment was surely the last day of the season last season, wasn't it?
It was, and you know, finishing above Tottenham.
What happened was they needed to finish above Tottenham, and Tottenham lost really badly to Newcastle. And
Really
the ones
badly.
they went above.
I bet he's glad his ears are hurting.
Not in agree, right? Not in agree.
Right. Somebody said before, that finishing above Tottenham is like Easter. You know it's coming, you just don't know when. You know it's coming. It's been like that for the last 2 decades. So, you know, if we play to our capabilities, which which I believe, you know, we've got the squad now, even a stronger squad. There's no reason why
it's the
we
fact
shouldn't
that
finish above.
we've got the players that have been there. Like Spurs, for me, I think in the summer did have a very good transfer window, but they should have bought more people with experienced heads. Because Dele Alli and Eric Dyer,
No,
they just
Sissoko was a great signing for them.
If you're a Geordie, yeah, you're rubbing your hands on that money.
Fantastic signing.
I've been down there. There's Tiger's a great night out with 30 million.
Johnny, you're taking some flack here. Have you ever heard Tottenham described as Easter? Finishing above Tottenham's like Easter. You don't know when it's coming, but it's coming.
Toby, there are all sorts of jokes. I've heard them all. It's exactly where I want them. I want them complacent, arrogant, goading. I want it all because we're going to get them. Maybe not this season, maybe not the next, but when we do, it will stick and they'll hate it, and I will absolutely love it.
Johnny, mate, before I let you go, always a pleasure getting you on Skype. Swansea at home this weekend. Should be winning that, shouldn't you?
We've got to be winning it, really. With Kane back, we might even have Toby back, who's been a massive miss for us, really. So it could be, you know, what I'm hoping is a nice, easy 3 points. We need to get back to winning ways and quickly.
Prediction?
I'm going to go 3-0.
3-0. And I love that. More importantly, where are you going to finish this season? Where are Arsenal going to finish this season?
I think Arsenal. I think their squad looks as good as it's looked for years. I think they've lacked a striker and a centre back. I think they've got a great centre back. He's a bit slow, but because Son showed him up the other day. But I think they're going to finish probably second.
Ooh, so Tottenham first, yeah.
Tottenham first. It's time to shine, Toby.
Johnny, mate, it's good to hear from you, and I'm glad you're feeling better as well.
Thanks, mate. Nice to see you, buddy. Take care.
Have you ever spent the night in a men's toilet, by the way, Johnny?
Who have you been talking to?
This lad over here.
Bye, Johnny. And on that note, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Good old Johnny Vance. Good old Johnny Vance. How was it? Was it as compared to other toilets you've slept in? Was it comfortable?
It was a nightmare. It was super cold. Like,
Was it?
You couldn't get any rest. We didn't sleep, really.
It's almost like they hadn't prepared for people sleeping in there. Unbelievable. Was it a real grim football club, or did you at least go and find like a box where they got the nice posh ones?
It was pretty nice. The toilets were clean, so that wasn't a problem. It was just that it was cold. It was nice.
Was the bloke still in there who washes your hands?
No.
He'd gone home and he'd packed up. Was it just you or you with a mate?
I had a friend as well. He was in another cubicle.
Did you drill a hole in between them? No, that's not for this. That's not for. Guys, come on, pre-watershed. Show a bit of self-respect, guys. Come on, grow up. This is why we're not on the air again until January. Arsene Wenger as well. Ralph Hasenhüttl, or Hasenhüttl, or whatever you say his name, the manager of Leipzig, who are top of the Bundesliga at the moment, has been linked with the Arsenal job a lot. And he came out yesterday, gave the most open, frank interview I've ever seen. He said that there's a lot of truth in the rumours about him going to Arsenal, and that whoever wrote that article has clearly done their research. I mean, that's... is he going? He must be going to Arsenal then, that sounds like.
He's just flavour of the month, isn't he? Whoever it is, yeah, it just happens all the time. I mean, this year, I think if we end up, like you said earlier, fourth, and with nothing, as it sort of looks like it could be going, then he's got no more excuses for me. I'm like, thank you very much, move on, and whoever it may be. You know, I think, personally, I thought Eddie Howe's audition didn't go too bad. All right, he lost the game, but I think he set up quite well. I think they're sort of similar styles. Obviously, he's got Jack Wilshere there already, who he's working with, who they said years ago that's the heartbeat of the team. So maybe they're trying to integrate him in that way. But it could be anybody. Could be anybody.
With while we're talking about Jack Wilshere as well, the news has come out that Santi Cazorla is, they reckon, 2 to 3 months he's going to be out for.
Yeah.
The reports are 3 months. He's come out and done a video on Instagram saying 2 months. 31 years old and a sensational player. He's been sorely missed for us. A great player. I love Santi Cazorla. He's great to watch. 31 years old. He missed 6 months last year. He's now out for 2 to 3 months plus the month he's already missed. At what point do you have to plan for life without Santi Cazorla? And do you wish that Jack Wilshere was still at the club this season?
I like Jack, but the times that Jack is spent out of our team is way more than Santi Cazorla. You know, while what Jack's doing now is, you know, proving to the club, proving to us that, you know, he can stay fit, get 90 minutes under his belt for a consistent amount of time, and have a foothold in the game as well. So if he shows that in the season, like he's doing now at Bournemouth, then I see a future for him at Arsenal. But right now, even with Santi Cazorla being up for the next couple of months, I think we have just about enough cover. Nobody can do.
Nobody
can do what Santi does.
There's no
in the
one
team.
who's got that
There's
distribution. There's no one else
that can
who's got
do
it.
what Santi does in the team. But we still have a place in the team where we have bigger problems there, and that's the right back.
You've got a guy who can ping them balls, like Granit Xhaka, but he likes to sit him on the bench. I have no idea why.
He also likes getting sent off every week. We've only got a minute to go into the break, and I've got to say goodbye to you guys, but I want to get a couple of predictions. West Ham away, late kick-off tomorrow. What's the score going to be?
2-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal, 3-1 Arsenal. Here we go.
2-1.
Do you know who you're playing?
I have no clue.
Everton away, brilliant. What's the latest? Are you getting in trouble for the toilet? Are you getting any police repercussions?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
What's your next prank?
Got to keep that secret.
You're not going to stay in the Fan TV toilets overnight. We're not back till January. we're not back until January. We're going to come home to a corpse. I hope not. You're a very nice kid. We've got Everton away, and it's going to be 2-1.
All right, cool.
Okay, enjoy staying in men's toilets over the next few weeks, yeah? Enjoy yourself. Guys, it's been a pleasure having you on. We're going to get a couple more fans here on the lime green sofas in just a sec. But as ever, you can tweet us at FanTVUK, and you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube. We are streaming live on both of those things, and of course, on Sky Channel 212 as well. We're going to get some brand new fans on the sofa in just a sec. We'll see you there. Hello and welcome back to Fan TV. It is the show that football fans are talking about. It's 8 o'clock and I'm about to have my ambition of having Bury fans on the lime green sofa realise. Chris will be here with Charlton fan Nathan in just 1 minute, and we'll also be taking our usual Spanish trip on Skype to chat to Chris Darwin with more tales from the top flight. That's in just a sec. At 8:30, we'll be getting all French with an update from Nathan on the goings-on in Ligue 1, as they say in France. And Luke and Daniel will be with us as well, chatting all things Tottenham. That's also at 8:30. Then wrapping things up from 9 o'clock, it is West Ham and Arsenal all the way with Russell, Eugene and Matt. That's what's still to come here on Fan TV. But right now, I'm incredibly excited about this. It's some time for some Bury action. Please welcome Chris alongside Charlton fan Nathan. Good to see you, mate. How you doing? All right? Good to see you. Good to see you again. How you been? All right? Yeah. Take a seat. Take a seat. I mean, first of all, I'm just so sorry. Well, you think you've got it tough. I'm just sorry. I'm just so sorry.
That's all right. Keep plugging away,
It's
mate.
not all right. It's not all right. We'll talk about the fate of your club in just a sec. Quickly, we've had some reactions on Twitter to the poll that we've been running, which was about clubs returning, players returning against their former clubs. Here's one that we saw earlier. Jose versus Chelsea 2017. That's from Chris, who we'll talk to a little bit later on. Yeah, that was a good return. Just the 4-0 win for Manchester United. That was mentioned on the lime green sofa as well. Danny Welbeck in the FA Cup final. #scenes. You like that one? Is that you tweeting again? James, you mentioned it on the sofa, and now you've tweeted in about it as well. I would say thank you very much, everybody that got in touch, but one of them's there, so I'm not going to do it. Right. Our man Chris Darwin is about to join us on Skype with some tales from the top flight. Hello, Chris. Love this bit.
Tales from the top flight.
Hello, Chris. How are we?
Very well, mate. How are you?
I'm very, very well. I'm very, very well. That's a very fetching mustard yellow jumper you're wearing again this week.
Why, thank you.
That's all right. What's the temperature like? He's in Spain. Chris is in Spain. It's very upsetting. What's the temperature at the moment?
We were just in and around the 26 degrees today. A little bit cooler now, but yeah.
Were you actually? I thought it was getting quite cold there last time I spoke to you.
No, genuinely, during the day, we still go above 20 pretty much every day. It's just the evenings that get a little bit cooler.
God, I hate him. Don't you hate him? This is our last show before January, Chris. Did you know this?
I have heard the rumour, yes. Thank you.
I'm going to miss you, mate. I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you too.
Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Chris. Should we talk about football? This is getting weird.
Yeah, very.
All right, let's talk about it. First game I want to talk to you about is the one that we touched on a few moments ago on the lime green sofa, but West Ham versus Arsenal. Good London derby.
Yeah, I thought the noise that was coming off the sofa would have been a little bit more tearful at the news that Cazorla's out injured for the next 5 months, 5 years, however long it's going to be this time. I mean, again, Arsenal's got his excuses beautifully lined up yet again now. So fourth place will be acceptable in his mind because he still hasn't replaced the aging Cazorla. No coffee for Theo Walcott just yet. Didn't get his 10th goal before Christmas in the cup game, but it's looking like, as you mentioned earlier, this Austrian guy. I mean, credit to the UK press, well researched.
I know.
That's doing us all a disservice. That's incredible work. But again, as they said on the sofa, will he still be the popular choice come the end of the season? So we shall see. West Ham though, Manchester United reject. Fletcher, what's his name? I've got it written down. Ashley. Let's call him Ashley. A United kid. He's going to be scoring more goals, but probably not for West Ham, as they're about to spank 25 million quid on Callum Wilson from Bournemouth.
Really?
So, yeah, some clubs really do have more money than sense.
They got Simone Zaza, so definitely.
Well, yeah, exactly. But good news, though. Andy Carroll is actually fully in line for his annual appearance against Arsenal. So,
he's back.
He'll be back for that one game this weekend, and I think you can guess what happens next.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no point in having Andy Carroll in your team, is it? He's only going to get injured in a couple of weeks anyway. What do you reckon? Prediction for that game? It's not really a home game for West Ham playing at that stadium at the moment, is it?
No. I don't know. Let's make something up. 2-2.
There we go. There we go. When that guy was talking about the press not doing their research, I'm starting to see where he's coming from here, Chris. Another big game. Be careful, as always, when you're talking about my beloved, but Bournemouth versus the mighty Liverpool.
Yeah, well, Liverpool have won the latest Michael Owen / Robbie Fowler / Ian Rush / Steve McManaman hybrid now, haven't they?
Yes.
Jurgen Klopp, actually, I trust him to look after the kid. I mean, he did say to the journalists after the game, please only write goal scorer. What was his name? He doesn't even want us to mention that. But it looks like this Ben Woodburn's actually got his head screwed on correctly. He wants to play football for Wales, not England. So clearly knows how to back a winner nice and early in his career. So
that's a sign.
Very well for him. Adam
Good
Lallana
times.
could get the chance in January to permanently postpone his career, as there's a chance PSG might come and buy him for 60 million quid. So that'll see him ending up at Palace or something in about 3 seasons' time. And Kloppo's going to be not wanting that distraction with Coutinho being out until 2017 or 5 weeks, which sounds far less dramatic.
I know, the press have loved that. They love doing that, don't they? Coutinho out until the new year. Sounds so much better than just, he'll be back in a month. It does sound a lot better. You're spot on with that. That's very, very true. Another game, I think this is the pick of the fixtures this weekend. I say ahead of Chelsea City, I think Everton Man United is going to be an awesome game this weekend. Both managers need something from that.
Well, Ronald Koeman's having a bit of tough time in Merseyside at the minute, isn't he? He's now getting stick for dressing his Christmas tree in red. So, I mean...
Is he? I didn't see this. Is that actually...
He got absolutely slated for dressing his Christmas tree in red. It's going to be a tough month for Ronald because, let's be honest, red is a fairly primary colour in the month of December. So he responded on Twitter with, look, guys, I am still a blue, but I do still like a glass of red wine. Is that okay?
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I think he might want to soften his tone a little bit with the Everton fans if this is going to be a relationship that gets any love anytime soon. Jose had to watch the game at United in the week in a secret office, but by all accounts he was texting the latest young super wonder kid that he's going to be signing in January. He's after one of Chelsea under-3's development players, not Cesc Fabregas, but John Obi Mikel.
No way. No.
Yeah, the rumour is that Mourinho wants to rescue the 29-year-old. The 29.
He must do
John
something.
Obi Mikel is 29, then I'm glad I didn't do a paper round in his neighbourhood because Jesus, he's. But apparently he is the man to replace Bastian Schweinsteiger when Schweiny's off in
Just
January.
when you thought that Mourinho couldn't insult Schweinsteiger anymore, he says he's going to replace him with John Obi Mikel. And just a very, very quick one on Spurs versus Swansea as well.
Yeah, well, Spurs fans have finally got something to cheer up about this week. I mean, it was great to see Pochettino suit up and look like the IT salesman that comes round every so often and get Harry Kane to agree to renew his Windows 10 licences for the next 3 years. I just hope nobody realises that Harry was deliberately signing a blank piece of paper. I can still do whatever the hell he wants when the big clubs come calling.
That's definitely what's going on there, isn't it? Anything else? Man City Chelsea is obviously a very, very big game.
No, there was absolutely nothing amusing to say about City Chelsea, sadly, but there was something for Sunderland fans, because I always like to leave you with a Sunderland takeaway, Toby. Sunderland owner Ellis Short has finally realised that because David Moyes is in charge, he should probably sell up soon because the club's going to be worthless soon. So he's asking for 170 million quid for anyone to take Sunderland off his hands, but surely that's worth more than all of Sunderland put together. So I wasn't sure if he was going for the City sale or just the football club.
It's a very fair point, and a good point to leave us on, and a good point to leave us on for 2016, Chris. But it's been a pleasure.
Indeed. Well, I managed not to get you taken off the air, so hopefully I'll see you again.
I've tried my hardest on my end as well, mate. But you know, jokes about glory holes at 7:30 in the evening, but nothing. No do. We'll see you in January, Chris, mate. Looking forward to it.
And you, take care, mate.
Cheers, mate. Enjoy Christmas and New Year's and all that as well in Spain.
Oh, that stuff. Far too soon for that.
Far too soon for that. 20-something degrees, eh? It's all right for some. Cheers, Chris. Well done, Chris Darwin. Tales from the top flight, that was.
Tales from the top flight.
Tales from the top. I love that film. It's so good. It's so good. So, I mean, I touched on it that your team. I mean, so I knew they were down there, and I said this to you off air when we were talking before that obviously I do a bit of research before the show. You may not always be able to tell when you're watching, but 15 losses in a row in all competitions.
Yeah, it's painful, isn't it?
How's that been? I mean, I've never seen a losing streak like that, I don't
No, neither have I. No, it's... we just can't buy a win at the minute.
The crazy
thing is, it's awful. It's really, really... I was at Wimbledon last week before. We lost to Wimbledon twice in the same week, 5-0 and 5-1.
I saw those.
And the 5-1 was the
You
straw that broke.
started all right, didn't you? You beat us first game of the season.
Well, this is the thing, because I looked at it and I went, they've lost 15 games in a row and they're 1 point out of the relegation. So I go, how is that possible? I've worked out at one point, your league record would have been played 10, won 6, drawn 2, lost 2, which is playoff form.
Yeah, well,
so what happened?
Fleckcroft won Manager of the Month in September. He did won September's Manager of the Month. And then we lost to Scunthorpe 4-1. We'd have gone top if we'd have won that. And that was the first one of the 15.
Really? Hey, can you put your finger on what's happened?
Well, Fleckcroft apparently was a fan of defending Leeds, which hasn't gone too well, really. We were turning up against Millwall Saturday and they got the winner in the 93rd minute. And they've got that losing mentality now. It's a tough one to get out of, isn't it, once you're in a losing run?
It is a very tough one.
You can't buy a win. It's the dressing room, you've got to keep it chins up and hopefully... You know, a lot of averages will say we'll win one soon.
I mean, that's it, isn't it? I keep looking at it, it can't...
Averages. Relying on averages
to keep clinging on to that. Statistically, we have to win a game. Although technically you don't have to win a game at any point.
Normally it goes pear-shaped for Bury after Christmas.
Oh,
well, we've surpassed ourselves.
How bad's January going to be? This month is bad enough. I want to talk about the game you touched on there briefly, the Millwall game after the break. I'm sorry to put you through that, but I want to talk about that. We are going to take a quick break and we'll talk about Charlton as well, who are doing slightly better in League One, doing quite well in fact. So we will talk all about Bury and Charlton in the League One and all things football as well as ever here on Fan TV. So join us again straight after the break. We'll see you in a bit. Hi there, welcome back to Fan TV. We're going to attempt our second teaser of the evening after Raj's first one earlier went terribly. So the second teaser, if you know the answer, by the way, get in touch on Twitter at FanTVUK. The second teaser is name 6 Davids who have won the Premier League. Name 6 Davids who have won the Premier League. If you think you know the answer, tweet us at FanTVUK. 6 Davids who have won the Premier League. Any ideas? Beckham's obviously won.
Yeah.
And that's it.
De Gea, the United keeper, is he?
Have they won the league since he's been there?
Was he?
Batty ain't won it, is he? David Batty ain't won one.
No, the league, no.
Not a Black.
He was
not
the
a
last
Blackburn.
league.
Oh, was he at
when
Blackburn?
Leeds.
Was it a
I
Blackburn?
might have been at Blackburn.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Platt.
David Batty, yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, play along at home as well. Play along at home. If you know the answer, tweet us at FanTV UK. So I wanted to talk to you about this Millwall game. So you've lost 15 in a row in all competitions, which is laughable, frankly. Was this a new low, though, the Millwall game? So for those that don't know, you were 2-0 up versus Millwall.
Yeah.
And then you had Niall Mayer sent off in the 70th minute.
Yeah.
And then you proceeded to lose 3-2, conceding the 86th and 91st minute. It was actually very similar to the Palace-Swansea game that was going on at the same time that obviously stole the headlines. But was it a new low, even in the depth of this 15-game run?
Probably, yeah. I mean, we've been in front before. About 6 or 7 games in this run, we've been in front. And with Flitcroft in charge, we used to sit back, hold the lead and let them come at us. And it's come on Stoke. And spectacularly against Millwall.
You just think there's got to be a draw in there or something,
Yeah,
isn't it? 15 losses in a row is incredible.
Probably the mentality, though. They all just think you're going to lose.
Yeah,
and
one's trying to lose.
one, don't you?
Yeah.
I love this quote from Tom Pope, who came out, the striker, after you lost at AFC Wimbledon, lost 5-1. Just brilliant. He said this was the first game after Flitcroft had gone as well. And he said, if the fans thought it was the manager and we weren't playing for him, then that performance has shown it's got nothing to do with the manager, coaching, or what we do out on the training pitch. They are schoolboy goals, as you can't concede a goal and then 2 within a minute. That can't be coached. That's just down to mental attitude, and at the minute we're crumbling.
Yeah.
Didn't hold back.
No. I mean, they're a different team. I went to watch Milton Keynes away beginning of September, and we stuffed them 3-1. And looking at them now, they're an entirely different team. You know, you've got fullbacks who can't even pass the ball forwards. You know, the defensive mix-ups, they just don't know what they're doing. It's weird how a team's gone downhill so quick.
I've never seen anything quite like it. I really haven't.
I've seen some bad teams at Bury, and this is one of them.
Glad you said they're probably the best team.
Exactly. I hope this is one of the bad teams.
I've seen some shockers, and this is right up there.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it certainly sounds like it. From a neutral perspective, it certainly sounds like it. David Flitcroft did lose his job. It was the 5-0 hammering in the other AFC.
That's the one I went to, yeah.
In the Cup, because you lost out on £100,000 in money for going into the next round, they reckon.
Yeah, that would have helped as well, because they're on the verge of administration, I believe.
Yeah, you're facing a winding up order.
And with the chairman being a property developer as well, that doesn't bode well for the ground. So yeah, it's not great.
Not going too well.
We'll be back.
You'll be back. You'll be back. You don't have a game this weekend because you were knocked out in the FA Cup.
Second round of the Cup. So
exactly. Yeah. Is it simply just keep your head above the water this season?
Yes, I think. They've just got to pull it out of the bag and hopefully get one win. You know, a bit of momentum, get another, and hover around sort of mid-table obscurity. That's the dream.
That's the dream. Mid-table obscurity, which
correct.
leads us so nicely onto Charlton. Mid-table obscurity, 11th in the league at the minute, but that does you a bit of a disservice because you're 3 points off the playoffs, 2 points off 5th place as well, undefeated in 8. Off the pitch, we'll come to, but on the pitch, going well.
Yes, it's a tight league, so you lose 2 games, you'll be down near the blooming relegation.
So you lose 15, you'll be right down
there. Yeah, we could be worse.
I think that happens in all leagues. I think that's the case in all leagues. There's not any league that's so open that you can lose 15 and still be right up there.
Yeah, but on the pitch, it's been all right recently. It's been a bit of a shock. We've drawn quite a lot of games this year, but we've sort of converted them into wins recently. So we've shot up there, game in hand against Millwall. Probably lose that one, but we're still in and around. We probably wanted to be top 6 about now, but considering the circumstances that are happening, I think we're actually doing all right, to be fair.
Yeah, you sacked Russell Slade after your 3-0 defeat.
It was inevitable, wasn't it?
It was inevitable.
He was there for about a couple of months, so you've got to sack someone, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Your revolving door of managers you have at Charlton. And then in the 2 games in between, you had Carl Nugent as your caretaker manager, and you won one of them 5-1. You won both the games.
Bristol, yeah. And then we drew Sheffield United.
Well, and then this was the latest game. Sheffield United, you drew 1-1.
Last minute.
Carl Robinson, who has been appointed now, the ex-MK Dons manager, he'd basically been appointed at that point. What happened to Kevin Nugent? He won 2 games, one of them...
Well, he didn't put his hat in the ring, but, as he's won 2 games, he was just like, well, fair enough. No one expected that, especially against Bristol Rovers. I think they were like 7th when we played them, 5-1 away from home, and then... Sheffield United, which we were, to be fair, last minute equalised, we were a bit lucky, but we kept going. And then, Cole's come in, plays his old, obviously we've got MK tomorrow in the Cup, which is obviously his old team. Nice little respite, but, the the appointment of him, split opinion because there was a couple of fans who were a bit dubious, you know. Comes across a bit arrogant sometimes, but I mean, he plays the right way, and we've said it when we was on before, it doesn't really matter because you don't know how long he's going to be given. He could be gone next week, could be there for 6 months, you don't know. So we just got to sort of take each day as it comes, or each week, and then just see what happens at the end of it, really.
Yeah. Are you very excited about the fact that Charlton are nearly in the playoffs because you've got a pillow?
Well, no, usually it'd be like this one. But, yeah. No, yeah, I don't know.
I just wondered what it was. I was like,
should be looking there, should you?
I couldn't because of the pillow. I was trying to get a good peek, but nothing. That's no avail.
I'll move it for you, so I do.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Now I'm going to have to try and not look for the whole time. And I want to talk to you about Card. Which is the fans that are protesting against the board in charge. I can never say his name. Roland de Châtelet.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Roland de Châtelet. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. The chairman of Charlton. So if you're not aware of them, they're brilliant. Those guys, Card. They are funny. So in recent memory, they've held a mock funeral for the club. They've stopped matches by throwing beach balls, stress balls, and foam pigs.
Yeah, we had taxis on against the Sheffield United game.
Yeah, that was it. Foam taxis at the weekend against Sheffield United, and you've even driven a branded taxi to Belgium with "Taxi for Roland's" written across it to park outside where he works.
Yeah, outside all of his companies and in the square with St Truiden where his other club is, or one of his other clubs that he's got. And then they also found him in the restaurant of his own restaurant eating a dinner with his family, which was his birthday. So he went out with a massive banner, sort of Roland out, and then sung him happy birthday. And then, coincidence or not, sacks Russell Slade. I don't know if that's him just throwing his toys out the pram, but he weren't happy, I know that.
I mean, you wouldn't normally wish anybody getting abused on their birthday in front of their family, but if anyone deserves it.
Yeah, he's a delusional one, that one, isn't he?
He is. I mean, the manager statistics are crazy. So, Carl Robinson is his 7th managerial appointment since January 2014.
Yep.
That is
it won't be the last either.
It won't be the last. You don't think Robinson's built to last?
We need someone to stay. We need some. We're in League One now. You know, it was only a few years ago we was in the Premiership or even the Championship, and now it's just a joke there at the moment. You just don't know what's going to happen. And at the beginning of the season, we were looking on a bad run. We couldn't get a win, and we were looking at League Two. And it was just
like how you look at him when you say bad run.
You know, it could be worse. It could be worse.
How could it be worse?
I feel bad. Like I'm just sitting here like moaning, but it's like 15 days ago. Yeah. But no, on the pitch it's all right. But the clowns upstairs, obviously, it's not giving up. I don't think at the moment. So.
What's the target? The Card expect that? Do they feel like they can basically oust him?
Well, that's the end result. You know, there's interest in people buying the club, but it's this guy who thinks he can run this big network of loaning rubbish players to Charlton and to try and make us some sort of successful Premier League side by breaking even, which isn't going to work. And this week there has been a big release. I don't know if you've seen it. It's Getting to Know the Network, where emails have been leaked, not from Chris Powell, but it's been leaked somehow. With Roland emailing Chris Powell when he was in charge, explaining how a 4-4-2 system works and how he should play this sort of style of play and why is he not playing this goalie and all sorts. And it obviously shows why obviously managers don't really like going there. Yeah. So it's weird to see how managers keep wanting to go to Charlton, even like Carl Robinson. You know, he could do a good job for most League One teams, maybe even Championship, but.
Maybe even Barry.
Yeah, I don't know. But
he's not Pep Guardiola, give him a chance.
I know, that's what I mean. And I just don't understand why people keep going there to work with these trying to be polite on telly, but these crazy people.
Yeah,
you know
as long
what I mean?
as you don't swear too much, then, well, at all.
We did say glory holes earlier, didn't you? So. No, I was barred, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why, as if I've got some nerve, and taking the moral high ground here. My concern is, you're stopping matches by throwing foam pigs on them. You're turning up at his birthday and singing him happy birthday. If he was going to go, would he not have gone by now?
I think he's doing it to be stubborn. I think
that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is it almost now you've pushed him so far? Yeah. You're actually making him stay.
Yeah, but he says he'll sell the club for 35 million. Who's going to pay 35 million for a League One club? Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't pay that. I don't have it, but who would pay it anyway? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. But. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be interest in it. You know, it's a London club, great youth players bringing out like Cole Jenkinson and stuff. But no, we've got. There's going to be interest there. But I don't know what and that's that main issue, fans, is we don't know what he's doing. You don't know what his plan is, because whatever he's doing, it's not obviously working.
No, clearly not. There doesn't seem to be too much of a model in place, does there?
No.
Just want to get a couple of predictions. First of all, where are Bury going to finish this season?
Just below halfway.
Just below halfway. You reckon?
I reckon we'll.
It can only go up from here.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got some decent players there.
We have. We've
got
shown
decent
it.
players there.
I've seen them. I don't know where they've gone. But yeah, just below halfway. I think.
Below halfway.
That's the dream.
Okay. And Charlton?
I think it's going to depend if we can keep Lookman in January. If we can keep Adamola, I think we'll get in playoffs. If we don't, then I'll probably think about 9th. I did say 12th last time, didn't I?
Yeah, so it's getting better.
Well, it's getting better, yeah. So I reckon 9th. If we keep Lookman, I think we'll get playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
It's getting much better. Well, I hope they do. For the sake of his development, I hope he finishes.
He will. He'll end up with Spurs or somewhere, or I think Everton, the latest one. But
yeah. Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. And prediction on the scoreline as well tomorrow. MK
Tomorrow, they got a new manager as well. So I'm going to go.
Where is it at?
It's at home. So I reckon 2-1 Charlton tomorrow.
Charlton tomorrow, yeah? Perfect. Guys, very good to speak to you, and we'll get you back in the new year on the lime green sofas. We've been doing sea puns on Twitter, so kind of like underwater and sea-based football puns on Twitter, because why not? Because we couldn't think of another category. We've got John Joe Shelby is one. Thank you very much, Asa. We have got... It's got to be Mohammed El Nemenemi. El Nemenemi. I got it. Okay, yeah, I like it. Thank you, Matt. Edwin van der Starfish. These are getting worse. Yap Clam, that's nice. I like Yap Clam. Yap Clam is very, very good. I don't know if we have any more. No, that's all. But keep those C puns coming in on Twitter at FanTVUK, because I thoroughly enjoy those. In a few moments' time, we'll update you after the break with the poll that we're running as well, and get the answer for the teaser as well. That's all coming up in a sec. Good evening, welcome back to Fan TV live as always on Sky 212, Facebook and YouTube. It is 8:30 and in just a moment we are off to France for an update from Nathan on the goings on in Ligue 1. And Luke and Daniel will be with us as well, chatting all things Tottenham. That's coming up next. Then wrapping things up from 9 o'clock, it's West Ham and Arsenal all the way with Russell, Eugene and Matt. Come on, you Irons, just cry from the floor. That is what's still to come here on Fan TV. Right now, let's welcome onto the lime green sofa Spurs fans, Luke and Daniel. Come on, Luke and Daniel. Go on, chaps. Go on, chaps. Hello, mate. How you doing? All right? Nice to meet you. How are you doing? Nice to meet you. How are you doing? Take a seat. Take a seat. Take a seat. We'll come to Spurs in just a second. Quickly, an update on the poll that's been running on Twitter at FanTVUK. This is the latest on this. So it is our final show of the year, but we will be back in January. So on that note, whose return at a former club was the best? At the moment, RVP against Arsenal, 33% getting applauded onto the pitch was very amusing. Adebayor versus Arsenal 2009 when he kicked someone in the face and ran and celebrated in front of the away fans was pretty funny as well. Luis Figo getting a pig's head thrown at him when he went back to Barcelona, and 18% of you have gone for other as well, and you've tweeted us some suggestions as well. Thank you very much for that. Also, a few moments ago, I asked you to name 6 Davids who have won the Premier League. 6 Davids have won the Premier League. Have you guys got any ideas?
David Bentley may have been part of the Arsenal squad that won the Invincibles, as in a youth player.
That's a great shout.
I don't know. I've got a fish pun though.
You got a fish pun?
Yeah, Ji-Sung Shark.
Nice, nice.
I have a much worse one. Eunice Nauticable.
That was awful, but yes. Really bad, but sometimes they're the best. Not in this case, not in this case.
No, definitely not in this case.
We asked you to name 6 Davids who have won the Premier League. I can tell you the answers are David Silva, Man City, David Beckham, David Platt, somebody on the floor got David Platt, David De Gea, Manchester United, he has won one. David Seaman, of course, who was definitely in the Invincibles, and David May, Manchester United. David May, I bet he let down a few of your guesses. We are going to go over to our French expert now. It's Nathan Staples. Come on, Nathan Staples. Come on, Nathan Staples.
Le rapport des matchs.
Unbelievable. Hello, Nathan. How are we? Fascinating, Nathan. Well, you know what? It's funny you say that because I was thinking just the same thing. We can't hear you, Nathan. Can you say something again?
All right, let me.
Oh no, you can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me now.
Yeah, sorry. It was just that first bit that I didn't have a clue what you were saying. Sorry. Anyway, let's start again. How are you, Nathan?
I'm very well, Toby. How are you?
I'm very, very well as well, thanks. How are you guys? Tell Nathan how you are.
Good, thank you. Hi, Nathan.
Good to hear. Good to hear, guys.
Nathan is our French expert, but he's from Mansfield. It's very confusing, but he knows everything there is to know about French football, don't you, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm even watching one as we speak. So.
What game's on at the moment?
It's Caen and Dijon are playing. It's 3-1 before half-time. Dijon have had a man sent off already, so it's a good game.
It is incredible how, despite being from Mansfield, you can just effortlessly slip into that French accent. Who are playing?
I know. It's Caen and Dijon.
Just one more time. Who's playing?
Caen?
Yes, nailed it.
Dijon.
I told you to clean your shelf last week. And
yes, I know. It's immaculate, isn't it?
It was a tip last week. Thank you for listening, Nathan. And you've made your bed, your guitar's on those places. It's all starting to add up, Nathan. Good to see you, mate. Over in France, there were some midweek games, and Paris Saint-Germain are now ominously second place.
Yeah, it's that worrying time where Nice are starting to look over their shoulder now. They drew at the weekend against Bastia. It's one of the worst misses I've seen that ends in that draw. Alisson Player gets through. He's just in front of the 6-yard box. He's got an open goal in front of him, and he hits the bar somehow. It's an unbelievable miss, and that's led to a draw. They won 1-0 in midweek, but Paris Saint-Germain have picked up 2 wins, a 2-0 win again at the midweek, and they look ominous again. It wasn't the best performance again. We've still not got... The worrying thing is when you see a team that's succeeding but not playing at their full potential and still winning games, and that's exactly what Paris Saint-Germain are at the moment. They're still winning games. They're not quite on top form, and ominously, yeah, they're in second now because Monaco drew in midweek against Dijon. So, yeah, it's starting to look like there's a really big game next weekend, which is Paris hosting Nice. That'll be the big one see if Lucien Favre's men can hold on to that top spot. But yeah, PSG are starting to loom it just over the mountain hill now.
Can you see anything other than a Paris Saint-Germain title win in Ligue 1 this season?
Well, we've talked about this on our podcast as well, and we discussed how well Monaco have been playing. We've mentioned it on the show a couple of times as well. And they're one of the better teams to watch in Europe this season, and they've got a really good squad. They've got a really young, interesting team, and there'll be a lot of players that Premier League clubs and La Liga clubs will be looking at, such as Fabinho and Bernardo Silva come the summer. So they're still in the conversation. I can't see PSG simply brushing them off at the moment and the form they're playing. But it's worrying, isn't it? I think if a team's not playing at their best and they're still picking up points, and when they do hit form, are they going to absolutely crush it again? It does worry me. I think at this moment in time, it does still look like Paris Saint-Germain are favourites, but I'd like to see Monaco, if they can continue the form they've shown, there'll be a real test for them this season compared to the absolute blowout we had last season.
I hope so. I've got a couple of Spurs fans here on the Lime Green Sofas who know about Monaco better than most. I've got a very good friend who's a big Spurs fan, and he said in both games where they were just brilliant against you guys, were you impressed by them, surprised by them, probably being the key word? Were you surprised by Monaco?
Definitely surprised. What was the biggest factor in that game was, I remember a year ago, we played them in the Europa League, and we actually beat them 4-1 with Tom Carroll scoring. And to go from that to wiping us out over 2 games, they were excellent. And as you alluded to before, Bernardo Silva in particular is a phenomenal talent. And I believe it's the left back. I can't quite remember the name.
Benjamin Mendy. Yes, they bought him from Marseille.
See, I told you, he knows everything. He knows everything.
So good.
He's a phenomenal player.
And just to think about the Monaco team as well, you think a couple of years ago they sold the likes of James Rodriguez. A couple of summers ago they sold Levin Kurzawa, their big left back, Jeffrey Kondogbia. They've sold numerous players, and the changes they've made to then recycle again and not spend the amount of money that they did on players previously and still succeed is magnificent. And their midfield double of Fabinho and Bakayoko are so solid. Like you mentioned, Benjamin Mendy's been excellent for the last couple of weeks. Thomas Lemar's a really exciting left winger, French as well, so the France national squad are really excited about him. Falcao started scoring again, which is just as worrying as well. And Kamil Glik as well, one of the best signings, I think, across Europe this summer. They bought him from Torino, one of the best centre-backs in the world for me. And he really, really transformed this team.
Yeah, doing very well, Monaco. Fair play to them. There's one thing I want to ask you about before you leave, and I'll get the West Ham opinion on this later as well. But Paul Merson talking about Dimitri Payet this week, which was fascinating. I saw the quotes, and he basically said that Payet's attitude for West Ham has stunk this season. And he basically said that West Ham made him who he was. He wasn't even in the French team before he went to West Ham. Does that upset you a bit? Because he was brilliant in France for Marseille.
It ruffles the feathers a little bit. It's a bit like, from my perspective, it's like saying, oh, that Gareth Bale lad, who was he before he went to Real Madrid? I've never heard of him. It's very asinine, to say the least, I think. It's ignoring the quality in Liga. You look at the players, look at the best players in England at the moment. Eden Hazard won the Premier League Player of the Month last season, was won the PFA Player of the Year before. Where did he start? Where did Chelsea buy him from? Lille in France. And then you go down the list. Last year's PFA Player of the Year was Riyad Mahrez. He was brought from Ligue 2 side. Look at the talent. Paul Pogba was bought from France, obviously, originally at Lens before he joined Man United on youngsters. And there's so many gifted players in France, and to ignore the contributions that Dimitri Payet did at Marseille, where he put up double assist figures. He was going to be in that French squad anyway, the form he was going for. In fact, he probably should have gone. We were discussing this when he left, that he probably could have got to a bigger side than West Ham if he really wanted to. Whether the money was the factor or anything like that might have pushed him over the edge. But while he's been absolutely superb for West Ham, and really his attitude hasn't been great this season, and he's not performed at quite at the level he can play at. But to say that West Ham made him is practically a joke, isn't it? I think it's not. Yeah, it's ignoring what he's
not like Paul Merson to say something stupid though. Surely not. Surely not. Nathan, mate, good to hear from you. We will see you in the new year.
Yes, I'll see you in the new year.
But enjoy your Christmas and New Year's. Do you do like a French Christmas?
No, it'll be a nice traditional English.
It'll be a Mansfield Christmas. Perfect, mate. Enjoy that. Enjoy the new year. Enjoy Christmas, and we'll see you in January.
I will do. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Nathan. Thank you, mate.
Le rapport des matchs.
That's one thing I won't miss until January. Let's talk about your boys. Let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur. not going very well. It was all looking so rosy at one point. I mean, the cold facts are you're out the Champions League, you're out the League Cup, you're 7 points off top, 4 points off fourth. You've won just one of your last 10.
Yeah, all right. I think that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not gone well. How important now is this month, is December? Swansea, United, Hull, Burnley, Southampton. Is this, your season could go into disarray if you have a bad month?
It does appear to be quite a pivotal time in our season, especially because we're starting to see a few of our players come back from injury. So Harry Kane's been back for a few weeks, and last weekend started to show some signs of life for the first time. Toby may even be back this weekend, who is an absolutely huge player for us, because our midfield doesn't really have a passer, a regista, or a distributor in there. Dembele has his dribbling abilities, and the others are all destroyers. So having Toby being able to ping it out from the back is probably the biggest factor that could see us improve over the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's interesting. I spoke to that friend of mine and he said that's the biggest miss of Alderweireld isn't even the defending, because you're still quite solid. It's the lack of distribution from the back line that he said absolutely killing Spurs at the minute. We are going to take a quick break and then it's all Spurs after the break. But I think you're right. I mean, it's been a great week in terms of contract signing. But I think Toby Alderweireld is probably the only player that's arguably more important at Tottenham Hotspur than Harry Kane is, and maybe Hugo Lloris as well. I'll get your opinion on that after the break. Thank you everybody who has been tweeting us at FanTV UK. We are live on Facebook, YouTube. You can stream us on there and on Sky 212. Showcase TV. No, I've never heard of it either. I'm going to get in so much trouble for that. We will see you in just a few moments' time when we'll be talking about Tottenham and hopefully things going a bit better for them in the new year and for the rest of this month as well. We'll see you in a bit. I'm starting to realise why we're coming off the air until January, because it's disarray here. I don't know what was going on your TV there, but in the studio there's been all sorts of technical issues during that ad break. Anyway, we're all good, we're back now. And we're talking about Tottenham Hotspur. We're discussing the new contract. So Harry Kane, first of all, over 100 grand a week until 2022, but certain players are worth the money that some players get paid, and he's worth over 100 grand a week, isn't he?
Yeah, I think if anyone is worth kind of busting your wage bracket for, it would definitely be Harry Kane. He's like massively important for us up top, scoring the goals. Without him in the team, we're struggling a lot. You know, we didn't have a kind of focal point. Jansen's been struggling, so it was hugely important to get him signed up. And also, I think, you know, it's just the fact, you know, he's one of our own, as we sing every game, you know, he's so important to the club. And
West Ham fans yawning at the back there, yawning at the back there.
Didn't know that yawning when we beat them too.
Here we go. It's all kicking off, guys. We're not, guys. Come on, we've managed to last till December without a fight, guys. Come on, we've made it this far. We've made it this far. Although it would be good telly. It would be good telly. So if you guys do want to fight, feel free to do it. I mean, he signed a contract till 2022. Jan Vertonghen, who's also extended until 2022. Is there one glaring omission here, and that's Hugo Lloris's new contract? Does that worry you?
Not yet. We kind of tend to drip these out really slowly. So if you cast your mind back to the summer, we signed about 6 players to new contracts over a 6-week period, and it was coming out every few days. So if we got into the new year and there was still no news and maybe some rumours of Real Madrid or Lloris agitating for something, then I would start to get a bit concerned. But as of now, I don't think there's anything to get overly worried about.
Do you think the timing of these, the fact they did a double contract, including the big one, the Harry Kane one, is to do with the results on the pitch? It was a kind of PR exercise in many ways?
Yeah, I think so, a little bit. Like, a lot of the time it kind of takes that form. But, you know, there's been some bad results. Obviously, the Chelsea loss was gutting. Champions League hasn't gone according to plan. But I think the majority of Spurs fans still feeling pretty optimistic. You know, we were undefeated until we played Chelsea. We started that game really, really well. Only kind of lost that in the second half. So I think there's like a lot to be optimistic about, and the fact we're getting these kind of boys signing long-term contracts is, you know, cherry on top, really.
What would you say was your hopes, I guess, targets as Tottenham fans before the start of the season, and have you tweaked them now? Have you had to change your plans for the next few months at all?
I would have liked a more sustained Champions League run that saw us get into the knockout stages and play the sort of football that we did last season and in the Champions League last time. However, obviously that's had to go by the by. But in terms of the league, it was always about trying to finish top 4 again, seeing where we got to near the end of the season. If we're close, can we put another title bid together? But top 4 would still be the aim. And even though I do think we're going to finish 5th now, I would say we're still in around that area.
I desperately don't want to see us lose to Moscow at Wembley and kind of go 3 games there without winning a match. But it would be really interesting to see what happens if we drop out of Europe completely. You know, have that crack at the Premier League after Christmas. We're obviously out of the League Cup, which is no great loss. I know Arsenal fans are very upset about it, but Spurs fans slightly higher expectations. So we're not too
You're not even
worried
coming on the
about
sofa to defend yourself. Actually, we do an Arsenal fan in the final section, so we can.
I'm sure we'll get battered.
Can't wait, he says. Can't wait.
But yeah, there's, you know, I mean, Europa League is just so tricky. We don't really want to be playing, you know, FK Karabag in March. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we kind of drop out of that and what comes of that.
Though, on the Europa League, one thing I would add is it's another route into the Champions League, which maybe we can't spit out this season. Because last year we were in the top 4 and we'd been firmly ensconced in that for months, whereas now it's a far harder ask for us to finish in that top 4. A lot of teams are much stronger than they were this time last year, so maybe the Europa League is a more viable route back into the Champions League.
It'll be interesting to see. I think Pochettino doesn't know himself at the moment. I think he'll watch how the season unfolds and then basically make a decision on whether Europa League is a viable route into the Champions League. It's obviously a much tougher one, but an option nonetheless. That Chelsea loss, obviously your first league defeat of the season. Is there any element of you that goes, you almost needed to get that defeat monkey off your back? Because there was silly talk. I mean, I went on a betting website that won't be named, and they had odds for Tottenham to do an invincible season. They were rubbish, by the way. I'm not staying with you guys, but they were rubbish. But it was, I mean, the fact that people were even talking about an invincible season, did you almost need to get that lost monkey off your back?
Yeah, I mean, but what would have been more Spursy than going a whole season undefeated and not winning the league?
I saw us doing that and finishing outside the top 4.
Yeah, drawing like 20 games or something.
It would have been the perfect way to say goodbye to White Hart Lane.
It would have been. It would have summed up Tottenham.
I think that defeat was kind of a long time coming. I mean, the West Ham game, to be fair to West Ham, they were better than us for, you know, first half. Started the second half, and it took Harry Kane to kind of pull it out the bag.
Don't now, because you know that they're coming on the sofa last.
He's giving me the eyes.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm scared. I'm scarping up. I'm going to hide in the toilets with a chat.
Yeah, exactly. We will chuck you out 20 minutes into the next show. It'll be interesting. And like you say, I mean, I think a loss had been coming, because if you're drawing a game, you're only 1 goal away from a loss, and if you're drawing a lot of games, it suggests that a loss is around the corner somewhere.
And we hadn't been dominant, particularly in most of those games. If you put a sticky note down to where Toby Alderweireld got injured and then look back at those games before and those ones after, we were on top in all of those games, bar the Liverpool game, where we still got away with a credible draw, and we've been pretty poor in nearly every one since his injury. And it's quite surprising that we hadn't lost in the last few weeks, to be honest.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a stat kicking around. I think we were talking about it before we came on the show. 75 minutes is the time that Alderweireld, Dembele, Kane have all been on the same pitch together. And I mean, you take the top 3 players out of any team, you know, from your Real Madrids to your, all the way down to your Berries, like any team is going to be struggling.
All the way down, how dare you?
I mean, there are still a few teams below that at the moment.
Just about, until Monday at least. And talking about the players, we talked about Kane, Vertonghen getting a new contract. One guy who's maybe not endeared himself to the faithful so much, Moussa Sissoko, £30 million signing.
Yeah.
Moussa Sissoko. I mean,
can we not call him £30 million signing? It hurts. It's like a dagger into my heart every time that price is mentioned.
You told me off air that apparently you think that Sadio Mane was the original target as well.
I have a feeling that we were looking for someone of that ilk, because what seems to have occurred was Pochettino wanted someone to add a bit of gusto and pace to the side.
Well, there you go. Moussa Sissoko's your man.
Yeah, he's running in the opposite direction, away from the game the whole time. The thing about Sissoko, which really great, is he languishes around the pitch like he's one Roman Riquelme, but he doesn't have any technical ability, and he just doesn't offer anything. And you watch him 1 game in 10, and he's amazing. There was the couple of games for France. There was a game for Newcastle where he outsprung Ashley Cole after giving Cole a 50-yard head start, and then you watch him the other 9 games and does absolutely nothing.
I think Newcastle fans could have told you when you signed him.
Yeah.
What on earth?
It's a shame we don't have an Everton fan, because it's funny. It sums up how stupid the transfer window is, because nobody wanted Sissoko. It came to that last day. Obviously, it looked like he was going to be going to Everton. Everton fans were gutted when we kind of stole him. A lot of Spurs fans were happy that we got him. It felt like he would come in and add something. Obviously, you know, we mock him, but he had a great Euros. He really turned it on there. But yeah, his first couple of games weren't too bad.
City, he was actually quite decent.
Yeah, he made some good... He had some decent cameos,
his
but...
passing wasn't particularly up to scratch, but his work rate was there, and it's something that's kind of fallen away in the last few weeks.
Well, it's interesting, these quotes from Pochettino. I love reading into what a manager's actually said. So the exact quote about Moussa Sissoko is that he won't pick him just because he spent a lot of money on him. And he said, you need to show on the training ground you're better than another teammate and you deserve to be involved. In layman's terms, he doesn't like his attitude, he's a bad trainer, and he's not very good. Is that essentially what he's saying there?
Yeah, the subtext has gotten very texty there.
It hasn't it? It really has.
I'm not sure if he's the sort of player who kind of needs a rocket up the backside, though. He kind of seems a bit more like he needs the arm around the shoulder. He needs to be kind of told he's the main man. A big problem is that...
He isn't?
He's not, no. But, I mean, he's been shoved out on the wing, which isn't his best position. Arguably, his best position is more central, but when you've got, you know, players like Moussa Dembele, who's been struggling for form, but he's fantastic, and you've got, you know, younger players coming through in that central position, it's hard to see him kind of getting a chance.
Especially because I don't think Pochettino trusts Sissoko defensively in that holding two.
No.
And if he's not going to do the work tracking back through the centre, it's going to leave us so open.
Yeah.
So I think he was signed primarily as a right winger. And if he can't get onto the right wing while Lamella's injured and Son's playing on the left, he's not going to get many opportunities going forward. And it is a concern because we're kind of lumbered with this white elephant of a player.
Who's going to pay any decent money for him at the same time as well? Well, we'll look forward to the weekend with you guys in just a sec. But we're going to go to Skype, and it's our man Mark North from United London FC. Hello, Mark. Hello, mate. Hello, Mark. How are we?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm very well. Good to see you again. Good to see you. It's been a while. You used to be on this lime green sofa every week. Was it something I said?
No, it's my wife's out for a Christmas party at the moment, so I'm home here with the kids. But you say that, but you can't even remember my name.
I know. I remember it. I just can't pronounce it, Mark. There's a very big difference.
North is tricky.
Yeah, Mark North is a tough one. I managed to say some Russian side earlier in the Belgian chairman at Charlton, but I can't say Mark North. Mark North is basically the creator of United London FC, which is the world's first ever managerless football club. If you watch Fan TV, you'll know all about it, but go and check out the website. You can literally sign up as a fan and pick the team every week, pick the tactics, everything. Pick signings in the summer. It's a brilliant idea. We just want to catch up, Mark. How are they doing?
Yeah, no, we're doing well. We're doing well in the league, not so much in the cups. We're out of 2 cups, unfortunately. But if we win tomorrow, we're playing the bottom of the league team, and we should be second in the league, a point behind the league leaders, but we've plenty of games to go.
And yeah, that's the point behind Chingford. Are they the team that gave you a bit of a battering earlier in the season as well?
Yeah, they did actually.
Sorry, I know you don't like talking about that game. You much prefer talking about your wins.
It hurts me.
Tell me what happened in the cups. Where did it all go wrong?
I don't know. It's strange because we went out for both teams were Division 1 teams, so we play better against teams that actually want to play football when they're teams that just lump it in the air and sort of get stuck in. It seems to rattle us. I don't want to give away our kind of weakness, and we're aware of that, and we need to address it, and we have been. And to be honest, I mean, in our last game, we had 32 shots on goal and scored 4. So you think, shooting, we've got a new striker playing tomorrow, 6'4" lad who's supposed to be very quick and powerful. So, hopefully he'll grab us more goals.
You're going to be gutted when I turn up, mate.
Yeah.
You're going to be livid about that. You're going to be absolutely livid. You got any more cups? Because I seem to remember you telling me at the beginning of the season that you're in about 15 tournaments.
No, there's only 3. So we've got the league, the divisional cup still to come, but that hasn't started yet. It is next week, I believe.
And any individual success stories? Just a minute to go until the break, but any individuals gone on to get any contracts anywhere?
We had a lad, a chap called Jaden Thorborn, who signed for us for about 2 games. He wasn't here for very long, but he was playing in Arsenal's under-18s with Alex Iwobi. So he's a very good left back. I think he's got with Vince McBean. See, I'll get him on the show. Then he goes and nicks my players.
No, it's amazing. He's gone to Clapton. That's incredible. Mark, we're going to let you go, but you can have Moussa Sissoko from these guys if you want it.
Please take him.
I'll take him.
Cheers, take it. Mate, really good to see you. Have a good Christmas and New Year's, by the way, as well.
Yeah, have a good one yourself.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Thank you. Mark North, by the way. Mark North, brilliant. Literally 20 seconds to go until the break, but I want a prediction. Swansea at home this weekend. Go.
If Toby's fit, 3-0. If not, 3-1.
2-1 Spurs, Kane in the last minute.
They've got to win. They've got to win, haven't they? Guys, really good to meet you, and thank you very much. And come back on the new year as well, and hopefully Spurs are doing slightly better. Coming up, we have got a West Ham fan and some Arsenal fans on the Lime Green Sofa as well. That's on the way next.